Scheduling of a barber. The history of barbering has always been come into the barber shop, sit and wait. You could wait for a half hour, you can wait for an hour, you could wait for 2 hours. I personally don't believe in it in the 21st century. Back in the day, the barber shop was the focal point. It's where you got your news, you found out about other families, you talked about the world, you talked about politics, you hung out. In today's society, they don't do that. You know, we're connected to a smartphone, the internet. People are more time conscious. It's time management. I tried walk-ins, which was very successful. The problem that I had was my client base was growing and growing and growing, and I saw no value in a man sitting or 5 guys sitting for an hour and a half, 2 hours to get a haircut from me. So I moved to 100% appointments. And basically how that started was I had 6 guys sitting in my waiting room and a guy in a chair, and I felt terrible. I'm like, they're fidgeting, they want to get a haircut. I'm watching guys drive past my window and counting the heads that are sitting and going, oh, I'm not going to sit here. So one day I just stopped. I asked the guy in the chair, I said, can you give me a second? He says, sure. I grabbed a legal pad. I walked over to the guys in the waiting room and I said, look, whoever was first, let's put your name down. Second, third, fourth, fifth. And what I did was I just added a time. I said, you come back at this time, you come back at that time, you come back at that time. And they looked at me and said, you mean I can leave? You're not going to give up my spot? No. That's how appointments were born for me. And then, but that was a process. That didn't happen overnight because generally in this industry, guys are used to coming in and sitting and waiting. And if you leave, you lost your spot. So it took a while for me to condition men. Some of them liked it, some of them hated it. But what's interesting, the guys that hated it were some of my most loyal clients because they finally realized, wow, this is pretty cool. I call you up, I make an appointment, I pick a time slot, I walk in, within 5 minutes I'm sitting in the chair. What could be better? It's called time management. It doesn't work for every barber. You have to be comfortable in your cuts, comfortable in your shaves, and you have to understand how to manage your time. But that comes over time. That can be taught. That's something that you can give them that, but it doesn't happen overnight, and nor did it happen overnight with me. Would I ever go back to walk-ins? No, I never would. I would hire possibly down the road a walk-in barber, but that's a whole nother ball game, and he would really have to be better than me.
Hey gents, thanks for watching this video with my barber Vince, and give a thumbs up if you know the importance of having a great clean haircut. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of Vince and these barber videos. Also, I cover the best menswear on the internet if you want to learn about looking great and buying the best clothing. Comment below if you have more questions about barbering or grooming like a gentleman, and click here if you want to have some more details about the series that I did with Vince. Check out the thumbnails for additional topics that I covered, and as I publish those videos, I will make the links active. Until next time, gents, this is the Cavalier.
As I said earlier, my father's a traditional barber, retired now, but came from that generation where barbering was barbering. And I got a phone call from him. It was about 9 o'clock at night, and I'm jumping up out of bed. My gosh, my father doesn't call me at 9 o'clock at night. Something's wrong. I answer the phone. Hey Dad, how are you? He goes, I have to talk to you. I says, okay. I said, do I need to come over to the house? No. He said, this thing you're doing with barbering, I don't know, I don't get it. I said, what do you mean? He said, this appointment. You don't do appointments in barbering. He said, you're going to run out of clients. I said, well, I'm going to give it a try. I said, I think it'll work. He goes, I'm worried about you. You're just trying to change this industry. I said, no, I'm not trying to change the industry. I'm just trying to make it a little more user-friendly for the customers. He says, well, I don't know. He says, you better play this by ear. You better keep taking walk-ins. I said, well, I will, but we'll get it. We'll get it refined. That took about a year. But in the meantime, obviously, he's seeing me doing things, and he'd come over and he'd say, what's this appointment stuff you're doing? And I'd show him my list. I said, I'm booked 5 days in advance. Oh, you're making that up. There's no way. I said, well, we'll look at it. So about a year later, I got a phone call from him. Probably the best feeling in the world, coming from him. He said, you know, I really have to take my hat off to you. You made that appointment stuff work. I still don't agree with it, but you made it work. So the importance of scheduling is really based on the customer. I really believe, though, as the younger generations get in this industry, they're time conscious too. They want everything like that. Eventually, you're going to see more barbers, as they become comfortable in their trade, probably dedicate maybe a day or two to appointments, because it's much more effective, and it's a better way to create loyalty with your clients, because you're one-on-one with them. You know, you're not rushing. You're not. You know, you allocate your time, but you're one-on-one with them, and there's not 5 other guys sitting there twiddling their thumbs